Hello, good evening. It's Friday again. It's 7:30, and this is, of course, the Arsenal Women's Show. This week it is our Christmas special, end of year special, actually, because this weekend's the last games before the Christmas break. We're not back again till January, so it's a big show. We're going to be looking back, of course, on the last two games this week, Leicester and Hoffenheim. Mixed results, but ultimately we got the results that we needed. And we're going to look ahead to the Brighton game, and also a special feature. We're going to be looking at the highs and lows of 2021 for the Arsenal women. All that's coming up the other side of this. And there we are. Welcome back to the show, the Arsenal Women's Show. Emma's just jumped in, actually, just in time for the start. So he always does it, doesn't he? He always gets there time every single week, which is good. We know he's going to be late. Welcome, obviously, to the Arsenal Women's Show. This is, of course, the Christmas special, or the end of year special, actually, because there's going to be no more after this weekend. There's no more women's games until January the 9th. And we won't be back until January, probably the Friday, January the 8th, to look into those games. So it's a big show, got a lot to look back on. Welcome, as always, of course, Andreas. How you doing?
Good evening, everybody. I'm not too bad, yeah. Looking forward to the show.
That should be a good one this week. Obviously, lots to talk about. Matt, as well, welcome back to the show. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Nice to be able to talk to everyone again. So hopefully going to be a good Christmas for sure.
Yeah, let's hope so. And Emma, of course, back again after missing a week. How you doing? Not seen you since Wembley. You're okay?
Yeah, not too bad. There's been a lot to talk about. Yeah, so should be good. And let's look forward to the last game of the year in earnest, I'd say.
Exactly, yeah. How's your dad? Is he all right as well?
Yeah, Dad's all right. Not too bad, thanks. Yeah.
Good. He's a legend, your dad. Like, I got to be honest. Great fun that was. So anyway, obviously, I suppose we should start really with go back almost a week to the Leicester game. We needed a win because of previous two results that we spoke about last week, and in the end, we got. No, it's not playing. A little bit delayed, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, so Leicester, in the end, I say we got a pretty comfortable victory. At times, it wasn't the best Arsenal performance, but other times we played quite well in the game. We got the job done. I missed a lot of chances, actually, especially Viv. She missed 4 or 5 you'd normally expect her to score. Not quite on her game, was she, unfortunately? But ultimately, it didn't matter. We got the win. And, of course, the big news of the weekend was Chelsea losing on Saturday, which gave us the opportunity to go 4 points clear at the top. So it was a massively important game. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of the performance? Because we got the job done and comfortably in the end, but it wasn't the most flowing Arsenal performance, was it?
In the end, all what counts is we got 3 points. We scored 4 goals. We are 4 points clear on the table now. But it was obvious that the performance wouldn't be the best. 1 week after the cup final, we discussed this earlier, that in their minds it will be a difficult match. And then, of course, it was like an early Christmas gift. Chelsea lost, but on the other side, it made the pressure even more for us. If we win, we are 4 points clear. And we are playing against the team of the bottom of the league. We have to, of course. And then you don't score in the first 5 or 10 minutes. And then in your mind, you think, we must score, we must win. And this must makes it more difficult. So, of course, it was not the best performance. But there was no doubt that we will win. And after we scored the first goal, I think there was no doubt that Leicester could score. I think everybody would have loved to see Viv on the score sheet. I don't know what's happening currently with her. We saw her. We saw better performances from her, but Yeah, as I said, at the end, 3 points, and that's all what counts.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that was. I mean, we said last week the most important was to win that game, and if we could have done it with a really convincing performance and scored 7 or 8 goals, I mean, it would have been the icing on the cake. But ultimately, I mean, a 4-0 win, we can't be disappointed. Beating anybody 4-0 is a good result, isn't it? And we needed the win, and yeah, it wasn't. I mean, Viv, I don't know what was wrong with her in that second half. She missed probably 3 or 4 chances that normally every time she got the ball, and you're thinking that's a goal, and then it wasn't a goal, and it's like, yeah, that was a surprise because normally she just buries them, and I don't quite know whether or not she's just slightly off the boil at the minute or not. But anyway, ultimately it didn't matter. She did get that 1 goal in the first half, and in the end, we got the job done and we won, which, as we said, is the most important thing. I mean, Matt, what did you make of the performance? Because we've played a lot better this season. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's always got to be a worry, especially because Leicester have had a new manager in Lydia Bedford. I think that's right.
That's correct. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So usually you have a manager bounce, like you go away to top of the league. You go, okay, we'll go away and we'll try and get something from this game. We're going to give it a real good go. We did really well considering how Leicester almost sort of were happy to take the point, which is a bit of a shame because you would have thought they would have gone and probably had a few more goes at us. It was good to see some rotation as well. Lydia came into the team, so that was quite good. I've seen fans complain about Beth being continuously played, and she's going to be too tired. I will probably come into that more again for the game afterwards. But I'm happy that we got past this sort of difficult period at the moment, and we've got to go again one more time on Sunday, and hopefully we get something from it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's another game. We'll come on to the Brighton game. It is a game that, again, we're going to start favourites to win as we do most weeks. I mean, Emma, did you not think that perhaps this kind of break after for Christmas is going to come at a good time for us? Because we are looking a little bit jaded. We're looking a bit off form. We're struggling through games a little bit. And maybe we need a couple of weeks off, perhaps, just to recharge and get a couple of players fit again, Leah in particular.
Yeah, I mean, you can see never. I think even a 2-week break where you can see how many internationals are off. They're visibly fatigued with all the travel that's going on, and now with the restrictions are in place and all that. But yeah, definitely the girls could do with the break. I mean, every 3 or 4 days, it's not what they used to playing in Champions League, and you can see that. You can see that in the performances that they're not. I wouldn't say below par, but they have not been as high as we've come to expect of them in the first few weeks of the season. The rotation helps. So when you've got such a good deep squad, but you can see now they're definitely in need of a break. So, I mean, yeah, it's come at a good time, but in a way, maybe it could have just I would probably have given them maybe 4 weeks instead of 3, but I mean, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll give us a chance to, I say, you know, we've got 1 or 2 injuries, maybe get those players fit back in the squad, back in the team, and I think that will help us, because I do think that's perhaps where you can see certain gaps in the team, certain gaps in the squad in recent weeks have been exposed, and hopefully we can get these players back fit, and then it's gonna really help us for a big challenge in the new year. Tom's in the chat. How you doing, mate? He said, "Good evening, lads." Yeah, how you doing, Tom? Hope you're well, mate. Looking forward to Christmas, I'm sure. So yeah, I mean, ultimately we got the job done. Yeah, we got the win, and now it's just a matter of building ahead now to this game at the weekend. But of course, we did have a rather strange game, I felt, in midweek, actually, away in Germany in Hoffenheim. We needed a point mathematically, but actually we could have lost the game by less than 5 goals to go through. And in the end, we all had a little bit of a scare, actually, wasn't it? Because it caused us a few little issues in that second half in particular. I mean, this game for me really did highlight the current kind of form that we're in, really, coming off the back of the Chelsea game, the Barcelona game, even, as I say, the Leicester performance. But ultimately, we did get through. And when we saw what happened to Chelsea last night, you know, we're the only English team that actually made it through. So we need to actually look at the positives. But for me, that second half, I mean, it wasn't a dreadful performance overall. We played well at times. We missed a few chances. But ultimately, we fell asleep for 10 minutes. And if you do that against better teams, that's the result, isn't it? We saw they scored 3 goals in 10 minutes and we were rocking a little bit. I mean, Andreas, did you have your heart in your mouth a little bit in that second half when them goals started going in? Because they only needed 2 more.
Yeah, there were 3 goals in 4 minutes, and they still had 30 minutes time to score 2 more goals. And in this moment, I thought, oh, how can we survive this? But fortunately, the girls showed the reaction, and it was the first minutes after the 4th goal were not so threatening. But of course, the last 10 minutes, I think everybody was a bit afraid that what would have happened if Hoffenheim scored the 5th goal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could have been a set piece, a corner, or just a silly action in the box and a penalty. But yeah, it was after the match. It was difficult to see the positive things and to say, oh well, we are through now in the quality. Everybody felt like it was a big loss and it was no good feeling. And you saw the reaction from the girls after the match. There was no celebration or so. Everybody said, okay, yeah, we're through. The match didn't start so bad. I think the first 10, 15 minutes, we were better in the match. And we should have scored in the beginning. But then after the first goal from Hoffenheim, the things changed. And what I said before, they have a hungry young team and they have a lot of speed in their attacking line. This young girl, Jule Brandt, she's absolutely fabulous, and I think she will go her way. And yeah, and sometimes these things develop in a match, and it was really difficult.
It was, and I agree. We did start the game well, I thought, and we looked as though we were in control completely, and I couldn't see us losing the game, let alone losing it in the manner that we did. And you thought, oh, this is going to be good. You know, we'll probably get a draw or maybe even win the game. And it obviously went really, really badly wrong. I mean, we said last week, didn't we, that although we could lose the game and still go through, we wanted a performance, we wanted a result to go into the knockout stage. I know that it's not for a little while off yet, but to go into that kind of finish that group in the right style, really. And we just didn't. We wasn't able to do it. It was so frustrating. And you're right. The young players of Hoffenheim, they did cause our defence a lot of problems, didn't they, throughout the game, but certainly in that second half. And that was a worry. I mean, Andreas, obviously you've seen a little bit more of Hoffenheim than we have. Was you surprised by how well they played?
Not that they are able to play so well or that they have this speed, but I was surprised that in a situation where they had drawn on the weekend in the league, they had a lot of matches like we have, but they are not experienced and a very young team. So I was surprised that they get rid of this pressure and just play as if it's a normal match, and then it developed. But the quality of the team, I always said, don't underestimate Hoffenheim. They are a really good team. They are on 3rd place in the league again, and now they are out in Champions League. They are out in the German Cup. So why not becoming league champions? So this is a really good team, and players like Jule Brandt, I mentioned her name before. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, she did well. I mean, she got a couple of goals, didn't she, in the end? And she took her goals well. So yeah, I mean, they had a few good players. They I wouldn't say they necessarily surprised me. I thought they played quite well at Meadow Park, actually, certainly early in that game until we scored, and then we kind of took over. But I thought they were a good team. I mean, Matt, was you getting worried in that second half when they were knocking the goals in, and we're suddenly thinking this is getting a little bit risky, wasn't it?
Yeah, just double checking that the mic works. Is it working?
You're very quiet.
Okay, I'll take it out.
No, take your time. It's all right, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, it was very quiet, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can't hear you at all. We can't hear you at all now. Are you on mute, are you?
Sorry, family were being. So I thought I'd try something different, and obviously it didn't work. Yeah, that second half they were really, really dangerous. I I'm looking back at both games. I'm thinking if I was to look at that team, I'd probably be going, you know what? I could probably take you. I'll probably take you. I'll probably take you, because they'll probably offer something different to the team.
Yeah.
And I think when I know Hoffenheim and Koga, two teams that are relatively around the same average age of the squad, around that 22, 23 mark. So they've got plenty ahead of them. They've got the Champions League experience. But I think they, sorry, I nearly said Wolfsburg then. Hoffenheim just played, whereas Arsenal seemed to be very cautious. And because they were cautious, that's what led us to those goals. Again, I hate singling players out, but it seems to be the Gem BT and having an issue with another central midfielder, a defender, and giving away the ball. I just think there's something wrong with the mentality of the team at the moment, and they need to have some sort of rest. And this 3 weeks is going to be crucial. I think the one thing that did sort of save the day was the own goal, which could have been claimed by Iwabuchi.
Yeah, I thought it was her goal actually at first, but you could see in the replay the defender got there first.
Yeah.
I think to be honest, if we didn't have that goal, I think Hoffenheim would have probably pressed for the 5-6, and then we would have been in proper trouble.
Yeah, I mean that goal, when we scored that goal just for half time, I thought to myself, that's it, we're through now, because they needed 4 or 5 goals in the second half, didn't they? And I'm thinking there's no way that's going to happen. And I was quite relaxed at that point. But of course the second half didn't quite go that way, did it? And we couldn't relax at all in the end. It was quite nervy when it shouldn't have been. And that was quite frustrating. But yeah, I mean Hoffenheim have ended up in that group with the same amount of points as we have. You know, they won 3 and lost 3 like we did. And we've fortunately gone through because of that great result we had at home against Hoffenheim. And that's basically what sent us through in the end. And, you know, it kind of goes to show, doesn't it? They're an up-and-coming young team. They've got a big future. And we maybe need to find an extra level, don't we, from an extra gear. I mean, Amar, that must have concerned you, that second half particularly. I mean, we looked as though we were going backwards rather than, you know, looking as though we wanted to qualify out of the group. We were just hanging on when really it should have been a lot more straightforward, shouldn't it?
Yeah, too bad I was watching the West Ham game, but I was actually following it. And then when I said 3 goals in 4 minutes, I'm like, oh no, this could actually happen for them. I think maybe that's a sign of it showed that not only is the team visibly fatigued with all the games they've got coming up with the frequency, I suppose, when you're in the Champions League and all the trophies you're fighting for, that's expected. But yeah, you have to give credit where credit's due. They took advantage. I know we were just uncharacteristic. I saw the highlights yesterday. They were just giving the ball away so simply, which is so uncharacteristic of us. And I think I wouldn't say they weren't running. They were trying to run back, but it's just that they lost a yard of pace.
It seems to be,
And even then, after that, created chances, but usually we're clinical. I think maybe we could just say that the squad itself just needs a pretty much. They could just do with this rest and come back refreshed after the break.
Yeah, no, I think it's come at a really good time for us, actually. Rajendra's in the chat there. How you doing? He says, can we explain the performance? Well, not really. Could the WSL players have been playing too much over last month? Yeah, I do feel as though we probably have been playing too many games. And you can kind of see, well, having said that, I mean, if you looked at the Champions League results this week, didn't all the home teams win quite comfortably, didn't they, in the end? So that's whether that's a travel issue or it's just the number of games, I'm not sure. But all the home teams won pretty comfortably. Christopher's in the chat there. He says, blessings to you and your family. Same to you, mate, as well. And Rajendra again says, have the German teams been playing 2 games a week for the last month? I mean, Andreas will know it. Have they? Have they got the same schedule as we've had?
Yeah, absolutely the same. And we also have the German Cup. So
DFB Pokal, isn't it? Yeah.
Also matches during the week, so it's the same overload for them. And we gave away the ball too easy. This is
we did.
I don't know what was it. Was it a lack of concentration? You can't concede 3 goals in 4 minutes. If you want to play on international level, this can't happen. I mean, of course you can concede a goal, and then you make a mistake, maybe a second, but then the concentration must be there, and you must say, okay, now let's regroup and start. But a third goal, I couldn't understand what I saw, and it's how easy we gave away the ball, and then in the last minutes, how easy we gave away the chances to score a second goal.
It was kind of nervy. I was on edge. I mean, I had the West Ham game on as well, obviously at the same time. But my focus was actually worried about the women's game because I could see it was slipping away from us, and it was. You're right. We gave the ball away. We were sloppy. And do you not think maybe a little bit, Matt, that some of that was to do with the fact that we knew we could lose the game and still go through, and that maybe played on their mind a little bit, and maybe they wasn't quite as focused as we needed to be. And maybe if we'd had to win the game, or if we needed a draw, do you think we would have maybe played a little bit better and we would have approached the game differently?
I don't know what we would have done if we needed a draw just to go through, to be honest. I think the problem is that there's something mentally not right with the team. If it's just physical, mental fatigue, I'm really hoping that the club invests in some sort of psychologist, because Viv doesn't look like she's at her best, and she's had a break as well. She's come back. She looks fine. She's gone back on international duty again, and then all of a sudden she's just become sluggish again, which is very unusual for her. Jen as well. Jen's had a really bad month, which is very unusual for her because she looked very solid in that game against Man United before we went on to international duty. I think one of the saving graces this month, and I think will be a question for definitely player of the month, will be Zinsberger. 4 or 5 times she's probably saved us in each game. She's done really well. I think the rotation as well during the game against Hoffenheim perhaps didn't help as much. But it's small things that we look at and go, okay, maybe perhaps this, that. We'll nitpick just to say. But just on a different note, there was a lot, and I mean a lot, of social media abuse on the girls.
Was it?
Yes, and this was through the Arsenal women's channel. I was hearing things like, transfer this player out, transfer that player out. This team can't play that. We need to buy about 5 new players in January. And I was just sitting there being bemused. Okay, we've lost 4-1, but we've qualified for Champions League, and we've got one last game towards the end of the season. Let's end it on a high note. I mean, we could essentially go about 10 points clear, depending on Chelsea's result. Even if depending on if it goes in the heads, it'll be. It's just I don't know where everyone's heads at the moment, because it seems to be all over the place, and it's not right for the team, and it's not right for people to be aggressively attacking these players.
No, I agree. I mean, I saw some comments saying, Jonas should be sacked and stuff like that. I'm thinking,
that's ridiculous.
We're 4 points clear on top of the league. We've got through the group stage of the Champions League. I mean, yes, some of the performances recently haven't been great. I think we all admit that. We'd hold our hands up and say, the performances have been poor. We've conceded a lot of goals in the last few games. We've looked sluggish. We've looked off the pace. But ultimately, you've got to look at the bigger picture, where we are in the league and how the season's progressing. We've got through this group stage. Yes, it was poor the other night. Let's not try and pretend it wasn't. But ultimately, we got the job we needed to do, which is get through. Unlike somebody else, as Tom rightly says there, the Champions League is not for everyone. It's certainly not for Chelsea this year, is it?
Cheeky bugger.
Exactly. We certainly enjoyed watching the Chelsea game last night. But that kind of sums up, doesn't it? Because Chelsea have been struggling as well. They haven't scored for their last 3 games now, isn't it? Since the cup final. So they're even having a few more problems than we are. And they've been knocked out. At least we did get through, even though we kind of sneaked through the back door to a certain degree. But we did get through. And as Rajandra says there, Wolfsburg did the same to Chelsea. Well, they did more. They won their game even more comfortably. So I'm thinking that the girls have been playing too much over last month. No, I think we have. I've obviously, us and Chelsea in particular, we've had a lot of really big important games, haven't we? With the Champions League, the FA Cup, the WSL games coming thick and fast, and they've had international games as well. And you can kind of see that it's taking its toll, and maybe Christmas is coming at the right time. Tom says there the other night it was difficult watching both games. I was struggling. It was difficult. I had them both on the channel. Actually, it was hard to keep the track, especially as at one point when the women were struggling and the men were doing quite well and getting in the lead, and it was like trying to juggle the two games was quite hard. And Jandra says there the same happened against Chelsea in the FA Cup final. Yeah, it did. We never got going in that game and ended up. We know what happened there. We don't want to dwell too much on that. Carol says there, West Ham is doing better than Arsenal. What are not, are they? Come on, let's be honest. Arsenal top of the league.
You're talking about the men's. What are you talking about?
Well, even the men's, Arsenal are doing better than West Ham in the men's as well now. So that's a bit out of date, that comment. But I hope West Ham do well at the weekend, the women anyway, because they're playing Chelsea. So
good point.
We hope they win this weekend. Carol also says Jill Rord is doing amazing. Well, she is, but we kind of knew she would. Obviously, she was in the Wolfsburg team last night that beat Chelsea, which we, of course, all enjoyed.
I was going to say, I was talking to Andreas the other day about Oberdorf, and she looked pretty solid as well. So maybe she's a future player for us. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Carol says there, Viv feels trapped with her team at injuries. Well, I don't know about trapped. I think she's obviously, it's been a bit of a struggle for everyone in the team the last couple of weeks or so. But let's hope that, say, the Christmas break comes along and things improve for us. I mean, Emma, obviously you watched the Chelsea game last night against Wolfsburg. I'm sure we all watched it and enjoyed it. I mean, was you surprised at how poor Chelsea were? And are you surprised that they've gone out when they looked favourites to go through a couple of weeks ago to win the group even?
Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe it. To think that they were on 11 points and they only needed, they'll be ruined that game against Juventus where they should have won about 4 or 5. Credit to our former manager Joe for still getting his team to defend, showing us the way that they should play against them, but be resilient and just dig in, which unfortunately we haven't really been able to do the last few weeks. But I was surprised at the way in which Wolfsburg has dominated from the off. I don't know whether Chelsea were tired. I know Emma blames COVID, and all that, but in a way, why didn't there's an excuse that could be made for why they didn't get the games rearranged, or maybe I don't know, they could just have had bit more time to prepare or something like that, but they were just opened up with ease, and even when they made the substitutes they weren't able to make the impact, and so it was surprisingly one-sided, but credit to Wolfsburg for taking full advantage of that, and kind of hope we don't get them in the draw, but we'll see what happens.
I don't think we can get Wolfsburg won the group, didn't they? So no, we could get Wolfsburg.
I was thinking to myself, the dream draw would be something like if it was Wolfsburg against Bayern, but Lyon against Juve, Barcelona, Real Madrid, or something, and I know we can't, can we? But something like that anyway.
No, I mean we certainly want to try and get an easier draw.
We get PSG, and Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Wolfsburg against Bayern, and Lyon, Juve, or something like that. Yeah,
well, we'll see how it works out. But we're in the draw, and Chelsea aren't, so that's the main thing that we need to worry about, which is good. And I must admit, I did have a chuckle to myself last night, not only watching the game, but also hearing Emma's excuses afterwards, blaming everybody else, blaming everything else, apart from the fact that her players were just... She's I suppose she's defending her team, I suppose. You've got to give her credit for that, maybe. But I did kind of like her excuses. I thought that was quite good. And it was good that they got knocked out. I mean, Andreas, obviously, you know a lot about Wolfsburg. I mean, we know a little bit about them because of Jill and stuff like that, but... Again, was you surprised at how they played in that game? Obviously, knowing that they were on the verge of getting knocked out of the Champions League as well, weren't they?
I was totally surprised. I haven't expected Wolfsburg to be so strong and not to concede, because the problem part or the weakest part of the Wolfsburg team is also the defense, as it is for Chelsea and as it is for us. They were brilliant in attacking. Svenja Huth, Tabea Wasmut,
brilliant!
Always dangerous, and not to forget that the best striker, Eva Pajor, the Polish international, she is injured with knee injury. I think she will come back in February. And the team captain of the German national team, Alex Popp, she's also out for 6-7 months now. So these are two key players they are missing, and I was really impressed by Wolfsburg. But it happens. And as Matt said, I can't understand when I read today in Twitter, Emma Hayes should be sacked and sell Pernille Harder.
Oh my god!
Just 2 weeks ago, they were celebrating the cup victory and said Emma Hayes is the best manager in the world, and now they want her to be sacked. Of course, the COVID situation is for every team the same, and this excuse is no, this wasn't good to blame COVID, but I still say she's one of the best managers in the league, and this happens. I haven't expected that Chelsea will be out, but the crazy situation was that Chelsea or Wolfsburg, one of both, will be out, and both would be able to reach the Champions League final. So there's really a big player now out, and that's Chelsea. But for us, it's dangerous because they can concentrate on the league now. They have to concentrate on it.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that I hadn't really thought of looking at it like that, but you're right. Actually, that they'll maybe be able to have a fresher team in later on in the season. If we progress in a competition a little bit further, if we get through the next round, then maybe that may give them an advantage in the league. Not that they particularly need much advantage in the league. Anyway. January in the chat there says, could our games be too intense over last month and that could have drained them? And yeah, I think they definitely look drained physically and mentally, actually.
Absolutely.
In recent games, plus 1 or 2 injuries have maybe not helped either. Tom says Beth didn't look too happy going off, but she's a true fighter. She's been our player of the season so far. I think she has been, and she didn't look too happy going off. But I'm kind of glad she did in a way to rest her up a bit for the weekend because she's such an important player, and give her a bit of rest and come back hopefully stronger. Carol says there, Kim, Walty, Catley second. I'm not sure about Catley so much. I think obviously Kim Little has had a great season. Leah Walty, I know she had a poor game the other night, Leah Walty actually, but overall she's had a good season. Catley's a bit hit and miss for me. I'm not totally convinced by her. I know a lot of people rate her highly, and I'm not saying she's a bad player. I just feel as though her form this season, she's been a bit hit and miss. She's had some good games and she's had some poor games. I know she's been playing centre back recently, which isn't her position, probably hasn't helped her. But yeah, I mean, Kim Little has been fantastic actually, and over the season. So yeah, obviously her and Beth have been, and obviously Viv as well when she's on form. When she's scoring goals, it's just recently again she's gone a little bit off the boil, hasn't she? So we've got a lot of work to do, I think, over this next couple of weeks over Christmas. I hope they don't eat too much Christmas pudding and stuff, and they come back very inspiring because it's a big part of the season, isn't it? We'll see how the results go at this weekend. We've got a tough game which we'll come on to. Chelsea have got a tough game as well, actually, and they could potentially drop more points if form they're in. They've got a few illness issues by the look of it. So we'll see what happens this weekend, but hopefully we can get rested over Christmas and come back a lot stronger in the new year. Actually, what we'll do now, before we look at the Brighton game, why don't we look back on what's been a pretty good overall 2021 for the Arsenal women?
Treachery.
So obviously, there's been some good memories and some bad memories. I'll go through a few little stats that I've put together for the year, actually. So in 2021, then, we did enjoy, at one point, a 20-match unbeaten run in all competitions. That was after losing 3-0 to Chelsea in February, and that was until we lost to Barcelona in October. We kept 16 clean sheets in those 20 games as well. We won 19 and drew just 1 out of those 20 games. That was a great run that we had either side of the end of last season, the beginning of this season. Played some great football. We did play 36 games over the course of the year in all competitions. We won 27, drew 3 and lost just 6. Scored 110 goals in 36 games. That's a pretty good record, that. And only conceded 28. We did keep, I think we kept, what was it? I don't know how many clean sheets. How many clean sheets we kept? I can't find it now. But anyway, we kept a lot of clean sheets, obviously.
Yeah.
Viv Miedema was obviously our top scorer in those 36 games. She scored 23 goals in all competitions, so she still scores a lot of goals. Let's be right about that.
Yeah.
Another little stat: we did score all 8 penalties that we were given. Kim Little scored from Katie McCabe scored the other one, so we got 100% record from penalties. The biggest win of the year, that was 10-0 against Gillingham in the FA Cup. And our heaviest defeat, of course, was recently 4-0 against Barcelona at the Emirates. Of course, in the Champions League, that were the 2 big ones there. We failed to score just 4 times in those 36 games, and 2 of them were against Chelsea. 3-0 in the league back in February and in the FA Cup final.
Oh,
So
right, yeah.
there was only 2 other games we didn't score in, which was Barcelona and the 0-0 draw against Aston Villa last season. That was it. There was 19 different goal scorers throughout the year, so that's pretty good. The goals were spread around the squad quite well. And at the moment, we are currently on a 17-game unbeaten run in the WSL, and that goes back to February the 10th when we lost at Chelsea. We won 15 and drew 2 of those 17 games in the WSL. So it's been a great WSL year for Arsenal women. We scored 53 goals in those 17 games and only conceded 4. And 2 of them were against Chelsea on the first game of the season. So, we're getting it right at both ends. In terms of transfers, then, we brought 5 players in over the year. That was Iwa Bocci, Nikita Paris, Boy, Heath, and Frida Marnham, of course. And there was 5 went out as well, of course. DVD, as we all know, felt very sad about that. Jill Ward as well, another one we felt sad about as well. We also, Maya went out and Ruby Mace as well. And, of course, Lisa Evans has gone out to West Ham. So, 5 in and 5 out. We've probably done better. The ones that's come in are probably stronger overall than the ones that went out if you look at it as a group rather than individually. So, I think it's been a good year, hasn't it? And I think that's what we need to remember. It's not finishing particularly well, but it's been a good year. Andreas, what are your best memories then of 2021 for the Arsenal women?
Difficult to say. One highlight, of course, was the home match against Man United when we won 2-0. We had to win to secure this 3rd Champions League spot. This was a difficult match, but it was a really good match. I remember the header from Lotta and how much it meant for her and for the whole team. This is a highlight. And then, of course, the way through all this Champions League, the qualification tournament, and then the playoffs. We started very early after the Olympics. There was nearly no break, no rest for those players who were at the Olympics, and we had a very good rhythm very early in the season. We all remember the 3-2 against Chelsea, the 5-0 against City. Highlights, a lot of highlights, and now we must accept that the girls are really tired and exhausted, and they need a break. And above all, we must support them. We must stand to them. Also, they had a few not so good matches, but we have to accept it. There were more better times this year, and at the end of the day, it was a really good and successful year for the Arsenal women.
Yeah, I think in this time last year, we were still kind of maybe hoping we could challenge for the title, perhaps. Then we lost, of course, to Man City and Chelsea consecutive games, and that ended that quite quickly. But I think overall, the aim of the year was to get into the Champions League, which we achieved. Then the aim was to qualify out the Champions League group, which we've achieved. And, to reach the FA Cup final, which we achieved. And then obviously to start the season well in the WSL, which again we've achieved. So we've pretty much hit all our targets, apart from winning the FA Cup, obviously. We've hit all the targets that we maybe set ourselves for at the start of the year. So we can't really have too many complaints. And I wanted to maybe pay a tribute to Joe as well. Obviously, he did leave at the end of the season. So, he was in charge for those few games at the start of the year. We finished the season well. He helped us to make sure that he left us in the Champions League. He brought a few trophies along the way as well. And I thought it was probably the right time for him to go. And I think that was probably the right decision for him, for the club and everybody else. And, we need to thank him for what he did. And, obviously 2021 is the year that he left. So I think we need to mention him as well, the good work that he did and the foundations that he's put in place for Jonas now to hopefully build on and take us even further forward, which at the moment we've sort of been doing. Matt, what would be your kind of best memories? Probably actually being at a couple of games, probably for you, would it?
Yeah, so always going to be the game against Aston Villa. That was my first ever game. And the fact that Katie scored that magnificent chip over Hannah Hampton makes it even more better. Yeah. I think apart from that, one of the first ones that I always think of is Zinsberger's triple save against Tottenham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of people have said that's the turning point for her because she was a bit inconsistent. But you look at her this season, she looks like a real top class goalkeeper. She looks like she's accepted the role a lot more. And I'm trying to think of what else I put down as because we all asked for a list. Katie, just in general, scoring a load of goals. She's yet to score a goal in December. Season. So
Okay,
she
that's
is due a
interesting.
wonder goal. So just be warned, Brighton. Katie's on the hunt for a goal.
Well, look forward to that then. That'd be good.
Sunday.
I
Tell
don't
them
know
before
if it's
Sunday's going,
final,
man.
but she hasn't scored a goal this she has scored got a goal this season every month, so hopefully that continues. But yeah, it's been a good year. We've lost two hard-working midfielders and gained two probably more attackings, and Frida who can do a bit of free roll. But it's been a good year all round. Obviously, we've had some lows as well with that as well. But I really enjoyed this year, and may it continue. And hopefully, we have a good little rest now after this Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, we got a rest, which I think we need. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it has been a good year overall for the Arsenal women. Really has been, not quite. We haven't won any trophies so far. Well, this year we haven't won a trophy. We could have maybe had a couple that we were trying to win and we didn't manage to do it. But ultimately, I say we've achieved most things that we wanted to. I mean, for me, probably the biggest highlight was that game away at Everton when we scored a last-minute penalty to win 2-1, and that basically put us in the Champions League, didn't it?
Yeah.
That was a tense game, and it looked as though we were maybe going to blow it at the last. And draw that game, and then we got that penalty. It was Katie McKay was brought down, wasn't she? And then Kim Little, of course, stuck the penalty away in the 94th minute or whatever it was, and that was great because we knew then that we'd basically qualified. We just didn't have to lose at home to Aston Villa. So yeah, that was probably that for me. That was probably the one single moment. It probably wasn't the best game of the year, but it was the one single moment, that penalty in the last minute that Kim scored to seal that. So I mean, Emma, what were your kind of real highs? I agree actually with Andres about the Man United game as well. That was a big win, that 2-0 win at home.
Yeah,
they were in third at the time. We were fourth. We had to win that game, and we did. What other games kind of stand out for you? What other memories you got this year? Positive memories?
Yeah, no, I'd go along the same line because if you remembered before that, at one stage I think we trailed Manchester United by 9 points, and then they went on a really poor run, and for us to turn it around and to seal it with that penalty, and you see where it meant to the girls and the way they celebrated, to actually pip them when it looked like we were going absolutely nowhere in the season. It wasn't their fault in a way because I remember there were so many postponements and games having to be rearranged, but for them to actually go on that winning streak, that was what the most pleasing aspect, and seeing how Joe on a high for me was. And the recruitment in the summer has been really good. Jonas taken over. There's been a multitude of highlights. The style of football is what impressed me the most. It reminds me a little bit of the way that Klopp has got Liverpool playing, and the way they press so much higher up the pitch as well. Or maybe not as much as Liverpool, but certainly in a style that befits a Premier League team. And I suppose the highlight of me did my first ever vlog for the Everton game, seeing Frida score a screamer as well. So I'll put that out there as well.
Yeah, no, that was a great game actually, the Everton game, and it has been good actually. Obviously, one of the big highlights
was Katie as well. Actually, Katie as well.
Yeah, Katie got a great goal that day as well. Yeah, she did. She was on a great run at that point. I mean,
That's
one of the big that was fantastic. I mean,
it was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big highlights for me has actually been this show. Actually, getting you guys together, and doing this show every week or most weeks throughout. Certainly this season, and that's been one of the big highlights for me as well. And just like the sort of little community that we've built up following the Arsenal women and stuff like that, and that's been great as well. And and it's good that the team have been doing well on the pitch at the same time as well, which has helped, I suppose, make it more enjoyable than maybe if we were losing 4-0 every week. It might not be quite as much fun, but I'm sure we would still do it anyway because we'd still get through it. Tom says there in the chat, he says a great goal back from Katie Villa. Yeah, it was. He says his first game was against Chelsea at the Emirates this season. What a great day! That was probably the game of the season in terms of quality of football and excitement, I would say. And the Champions League was my fourth so far this season. So managing to get some, doing well. So it's good. Yeah, gets 4 games. It's brilliant. Well done. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, which is the main thing. Nigel says there, good evening, chaps. I can't seem to wipe the grin off my face after watching Emma Hayes Chelsea crash and burn last night. Yeah, we've all enjoyed that. It certainly cheered us all up after watching our game on Wednesday, where we were very disappointed, obviously, but we did get through. And I always say that's the most important thing. Forget the fact that we didn't play very well. Chelsea got knocked out, and we can have a good laugh about that. Carol there in the chat says, I said they traded all the speedy players last year. Well, yeah, there was a few sort of speedy ones that I suppose we got rid of, but we've got a few good players coming as well. And she says there are 10 teams with faster forwards. I don't know about 10 teams. We're top of the league by 4 points. So if there was 10 teams with faster forwards,
Yeah, name them, Carol, name them.
well, yeah, name them exactly. Who are these fast forwards that have scored all these goals against us? We've only conceded 4 goals all season.
Someone should turn around to Viv and just say your New Year's resolution should be not to be so far back in defending.
Well, no, she does work hard for the team actually, and you want it to as well.
She shouldn't be that.
I agree. Sometimes you want it further up the pitch and sticking the goals in, but she's a great team player, and maybe that's what she's doing a great job for the team as well. We've got a comment from a January says, I think the games v Barca, the FA Cup and Chelsea dented our belief and possibly. Yeah, obviously they were energy sapping games, weren't they? But anyway, we'll see what happens really now. How they recover, that's going to be the main thing. Regenda says we need 2 more defenders who are faster. Certainly a bit more speed at the back. Bearing in mind, Leah Williams is going to be back reasonably soon, isn't she? So, she'll kind of help us in that aspect. I mean, probably won't be. We don't just need her. We need to rely on others as well. And I just said that the quarterfinals are absolutely stacked with quality sides. Yeah, they are. But we're in there. We're a quality side as well. Let's try and remember that. I know we've had a few difficult games, but we are still a great side, and we've still got a great chance of getting through to the next round after that as well. Tom says, great show. Thanks for coming and tuning in, mate. I always appreciate that. Nigel says, we certainly have our work cut out for us. Yeah, we do. I mean, but it's going to be quarterfinals of the Champions League. It's going to be hard, isn't it? You're not going to get easy games. We're not going to be playing teams like Leicester, are we? We're going to be playing the best of the best, and we're going to have to raise our game. The good thing for me is it's not till March now. We've got plenty of time.
Really.
We can get players fit. Leah should be back by then, and I think we look a different team in March than we do at the moment. And I'll see what the draw brings us on Monday, but I'm confident that we can progress to the semi-final. And then who knows? We'll come up against a good team, but you never know, do you? And Regenda says that I was cheering Wolfsburg on v Chelsea. Yeah, we all were. We were all cheering a lot last night. I certainly was. That was a fantastic game. It certainly cheered me up. I said, and it made up for our kind of game. Tom says, I love tuning in and meeting great people. Next time, Matt, I'll say hi. Yeah, you'll have to, definitely. We'll have to meet up again next time you're at a game time.
I think me and Tom missed each other. Like, he literally went to say hello to you and Alma at the game.
Yeah.
Just before I forget, Taylor Goldie had her first appearance in the WSL. I was just wondering what your thoughts on it, and perhaps maybe she could, perhaps maybe ease up that defensive issue.
Well, I think Jonas obviously maybe is looking at it and thinking, let's see, because she needs a little bit more experience. Because she's, like you said, she's not really played much in the WSL before. So it was a nice game to bring her on, wasn't it, against Leicester when we were 3 or 4-0 up where we were at the time she came on. It was a nice game to bring her into, so she could settle in without being put under too much pressure. And that was good. And obviously, she's going to have a little bit more pace at the back than some of the others who've been playing there. But she's still young, and she's going to probably make mistakes. If you throw her in straight away into the team now, I would expect that she may make some mistakes. And you've got to be careful with young players because it can kill their confidence. I mean, look what happened to Lotta against Chelsea. And, it might take a long time to completely recover from that, actually, because she got absolutely ripped to pieces that day. And for young players, that can be difficult to come back from. And obviously, Taya, similar thing could happen to Taya against some of the better teams if she was to play. And then you never know. I mean, it might not. She might step up to the challenge and be fantastic. We don't know. But at the moment, she's a little bit too inexperienced to throw her in too much. I like the way that she's maybe going to get on 5-10 minutes here and there, build up some experience, get some confidence on the ball, and push on from there. And hopefully, you can become a great player for her. She could become the new Leah, couldn't she, in the next few years? That'd be great, wouldn't it? So I mean, and Andreas, what have you made of that? I mean, obviously she's played a little bit as well, Taya, hasn't she? Taya Goldie in a couple of other games in some of the cups and pre-season and stuff. I mean, she looks like she could have a good future with us. But do you think it's a bit early for her yet to be sort of thrown straight in?
Yeah, it could be that she will become an important player for us. But of course, you can't pair her with Lotta. We need an experienced player to pair with her. And our problem in defense is the speed. It's only Leah who has the speed normally, but Lotta doesn't have it. Jen is too slow, and then Simone and Vicky are injury-prone players, and they don't have the speed. Even if they are fit, they are good with they realize situations, everything, but they don't have the speed, and that was our problem in the last matches.
Yes.
Yeah, but when you spoke about the Champions League in March, when we have to play the quarterfinals, nobody will ask how did you qualify. Then March, it's only important that we have qualified and that we are able to play then. And so, at the moment, or at least on Wednesday, it didn't feel good, but in March it will feel good. At least on Monday, I think it will feel good when our name is drawn, and nobody will ask, "Did you deserve it?" There should be the name of Hoffenheim in the drawing and not Arsenal. No, that's football, and things are so quick. You forget these things, and yeah. So,
no, exactly, and it doesn't matter, does it? I mean, at the end of the day, yes, we've qualified with the lowest points total out of all the teams that qualified. We lost the most games out of all the teams that qualified. But ultimately, on Monday, everybody's equal. We're in the same draw as Barcelona. We're in the same draw as PSG. We're in the same draw as Lyon. All these great teams, and we're equal to them because we're in the competition alongside them, and we're going to have to play one of them in the next round. But we'll give it a go, I'm sure, and I'm sure we'll be stronger by then anyway. I mean, obviously, it's been quite a good Champions League actually for the German teams, hasn't it? Actually, because Hoffenheim played well, were unlucky not to go through in the end. Maybe obviously Wolfsburg have gone through, Bayern Munich have gone through. So the German league's done probably the best out of this, really, when you think about it. Of all the teams that are in it, I mean, we're the only one that's done it. I mean, Man City got knocked out of the qualifiers. Chelsea have been dumped out. It hasn't been a great Champions League campaign for the English league, but it's certainly been good for the German teams, haven't it? They've all done really well, actually. Yeah. And we may well come up against one other one very soon in the next round. Maybe we'll have to wait. I'm sure Andreas would like that, wouldn't you? You'd like us to play one of the German teams, wouldn't you? I'm sure.
No, it's not possible to play against Bayern. This is my
only Wolfsburg, isn't it? Wolfsburg, yeah.
But Wolfsburg is possible, and I don't think this would be a good draw for us. I would prefer PSG. I saw them in the league match against Lyon when Lyon thrashed them with 5-1, and I think PSG is beatable. They lost some key players like Tiane Entler and Irene Paredes, Signe Brun, 3 key players. So, they are good, but the French league is not so strong, and maybe PSG could be a team that we have a chance against. I wouldn't prefer Wolfsburg. You saw they are able to do so. No.
Yeah, no. I mean, they obviously looked very good last night, to be fair, and they did draw 3-3 away at Chelsea as well. Let's remember. So they are obviously a very good side. So they've scored 7 goals in 2 games against Chelsea. We played Chelsea 3 times this year and didn't score in 2 of them. So that kind of sums up the difference maybe there. I mean, Emma, have you seen much? Obviously, going back to Taya Goldie, obviously you would have seen little bits of her. What have you made of her so far? I mean, she's still very young, inexperienced, but I think she's got a lot of talent actually.
Yeah, I mean, we've got good. We always tend to produce good players for our academy, not just with the men's team as well, like you see with Saka and Smith Rowe, for example. But Leah Williamson's come through the academy, as we well know, and now Taya's another one. Yeah, but we have to realise again, she's only, don't want to throw the age factor in there, but she's only 17 and she's got a great future ahead of her at such a great club, and the workload has to be managed. But it's good to see her getting the game time. She's only going to get better from learning from the best, and we wish her all the best. I mean, you can't ask for a better place to start your career at, the most successful women's team in England, which will never change. So good luck to her there.
No, it certainly won't. And we're still the most successful English team in the Champions League as well. That's not going to change. Is it? So that's good as well. Nigel says in the chat that I think Lyon and Barca are the 2 strongest teams left.
I don't think they can play each other next round.
It would be great if they played each other next round. Yeah, exactly. Get rid of one of them as well. That would be nice. And there was a comment earlier that I saw. Jan Raderi says, how can we reduce the difference between us and Barcelona? Well, it's a big difference, isn't it? We lost, 8-1 on aggregate, if you want to look at it like the 2 games. It's a massive gap, isn't it? How do we reduce
Europe? That's what can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think all we could hope for would be, if we did play them again later on in the competition, would be to try and reduce that gap. Whether we can overturn it is another matter. I don't think we can possibly at the moment with our squad and their squad
for so long now.
Yeah, but it's going to be a matter of can we reduce that gap? Can we compete with them a little bit better than we did in the 2 games we played them? You never know. If we get them in the final, a one-off game, who knows? You've seen the way teams can freeze at a final. We did it ourselves. So, who knows? Reading beat Chelsea, didn't they? Let's face it. And player for player, Chelsea are much better than Reading, but Reading beat them. So, you've got to look at it like that. It's possible, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, obviously, a long way to go in that, but it's going to be difficult to reduce that gap because it's a massive gap, as we saw. And we haven't got very long to reduce it because we might have to play them again in March or April in the next rounds or in the next 2, not the next round, but the round after possibly, should we get through. So, but we'll see. I mean, at least we know now where we are. We know what we need to improve.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's something that Jonas can go away and look at and work on. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's probably not going to happen this season, if we're honest. But over the next 2 or 3 years, we've got some good players in the squad. We can add to that. We've got some good young players as well. And
absolutely,
we need to build on what we're doing. And hopefully Jonas is the right man to be able to do that, learn from, the games that we've played already and try to improve. And if we can do it in the next 2 or 3 years, who knows? We could win the Champions League again, which would be pretty good. I mean, that was kind of 2021. I mean, it has been one more game left, of course, which we'll come on to in a minute. But overall, I think it has been a good year for the club, for the team. I think that you can see that we've progressed. From the last couple of years in the WSL, where we've been short a bit behind Chelsea and Man City, we've been not up to their level this season. You can see that we are. Be interesting when we play Man City. Actually, when they've got a few more players fit, when we play them in January, that's going to be an interesting game. We've got some big games coming up, of course, in the new year. But it has been a good year. It's been a year of progress. It's been a year of change of managers. We said a lot of players changed as well. But overall, we're heading in the right direction. And I think we've progressed a lot this year. And if we progress a similar amount in 2022, this time next year, we'll be sitting here looking back on what hopefully would have been a successful year as well, with maybe some trophies, some silverware would be nice, wouldn't it? 1 or 2 trophies in the cabinet, to look back on this time next year. That'd be nice. But yeah, I certainly think we're going in the right direction. I think that's all you can hope for, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Gender says there, what do we need to get from our players who can build strength and mentality to win all the time? Well, I think we've got that. It's just, you can't win every game, as even Chelsea have said. You see what a great team they are, and they're struggling as well. It's just, you're going to go through spells like that, and it's just a matter of recovering and bouncing back. And that's what we need to do now going into the new year, getting, recovering and bouncing back. Nigel says there, these Barca players have grown up together. They know each other's game inside. Now, and that's a big advantage as well. And it takes time. You don't just get that. I remember last time we played Barcelona in the Champions League, we thrashed them, didn't we? So, it just goes to show that you can build something. It takes time, but when you get there, if you get it right, it can be really, really successful, as it's proven, obviously, with this Barca team now, and others as well, Leon, as we know, and stuff like that. So, right, we have got, of course, we've got one more game to play in 2021 at the weekend on Sunday. Again, for some reason, they've stuck us on the late kickoff on Sunday evening again.
Yeah.
They're doing it every week when we play at home, which is a little bit annoying. But then I suppose at least you've got something to look forward to all weekend. If Arsenal men lose on Saturday, you've still got the women to look forward to Sunday evening, I suppose, to keep you going. Yeah. We will have a look at our final game of 2021. Obviously, we played Brighton already this season. There, that little picture there, obviously, Beth Mead scored in the FA Cup semi-final. We beat them 3-0, of course, at Meadow Park. They're a good side, though, Brighton now, aren't they? Under Hope Powell, she's a great coach, as we know. We know a lot about her. And they're certainly a well-organised team. And they made it difficult for us in the FA Cup game. We were just too strong on the day and got through. And they're going well in the league, aren't they? So I don't think this is going to be an easy game. No games have been easy, particularly. We saw last week we played Leicester. They made it difficult for us. I mean, Andreas, what are you expecting from Brighton? Obviously, we know what to expect because we've played them already. But I think this is going to be a totally different game to that cup game, do you?
It's totally different because this was a knockout match. And now Brighton could be very satisfied if they draw at Meadow Park. If they take 1 point, it's for them a big success. So this will be different. They don't have to risk as much as they had in the knockout match in the cup. And we all remember that the result with 3-0 sounded really good, but it took us long to score the first goal. I think it was Kim Little to break the chain.
It was,
This will be the important thing, if we are able to score, and this could make things easier. Otherwise, Brighton will defend, and I don't think that they will come to Meadow Park to win. They come to take one, and if chances are there, why not take more than 1 point? But this will be their aim, and it won't be easy. And of course, it will be something in the mind because the Chelsea is playing earlier on Sunday against West Ham, and it will be in our minds this result. Maybe we have the chance to get 7 points clear, but then the pressure is also high. And if Chelsea wins, it's only 1 point, and we are not allowed to lose because then it's only 1 point. It will be a difficult situation. I would prefer to play at the same time on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that's a good point actually, because I mean last week it worked in our favour because Chelsea played first and lost. They could have overtaken us and they didn't, and that gave us a bit of an advantage. But this time they've got the opportunity to close that gap, haven't they, by winning? And then it puts, like you said, it puts us under a little bit more pressure. Nigel in the chat has made a good point there. Of course, it's the Dan Carter derby. Yeah, Daniel Carter played for Brighton. He's had a good game against us before, and also as well, Cal makes a good point. Williams is good for them as well. He's a defender, their captain. She's very good. I thought she had a great game in that FA Cup game against us, actually. So, you know, she's a good player as well. So we know it's certainly not going to be an easy game. And I think right now, I think we'll all just take a scrappy victory. I mean, Matt, what are you expecting from Brighton? I've been seeing them already this season. We did beat them, but it wasn't an easy game because they're not a bad side this season, are they?
No, and the fact that Hope Powell's playing really good football as well. She's got Daniel Carter, you've got Williams. I'd say Maya Letitia is also another one to watch out for. She's got herself a good team. She's got herself the project that she's wanted. Post England, sorry. She's done a really good job, and I think because of City collapsing on themselves this season, you've seen teams like Brighton just come up and see what they're really all about. So I think this game is going to be one of those ones that Brighton can feel. It might depend on the day. They might catch Arsenal on the wrong foot. With our confidence at the moment, I'm hoping that we get a response like we did against Leicester. That would be the most important thing. But as long as we don't, as Andreas said earlier, have those moments of losing concentration like Jen Beattie has done a couple of times with the passings and the communication breakdowns and things like that. As long as that doesn't happen, I think Brighton we might be able to win this game. But if we do win it, it'll be by 1 or 2 goals. I wouldn't say 3 or 4.
No, it is going to be a very, very tough game. I'm sure it will. Carol says I love the coach. She's honest and fiery. She certainly is. Hope Powell. Yeah, she's very fiery. That's for certain. And she's a good coach as well. And you can see how organised they are this season. And you know, Matt makes a good point there. Actually, with Man City having their problems, they're halfway down the league. There's an opportunity for somebody to get in that top 3, isn't there? To get in the Champions League. Obviously, Arsenal and Chelsea are going to be top 2. I think we know that. But you know, Tottenham are in 3rd place at the minute, but Brighton have been up there all through the season, haven't they? They've been in that little group that are in with a chance, and you know, I agree with Andreas. I think they'll probably look at a draw away at Arsenal as a great result for them, but I'm sure that they're going to come with that kind of mindset that any points that they get is going to help them to try to get in that top 3, and there's a place there. I mean, are you expecting it to be a tough game in Omar? Do you think we will be able to win it? Because that's the most important thing, isn't it? We need to end the year on a high, keep that at least 4-point lead going into.
Yeah, you always know what you're going to expect from Brighton Hove Power team. They set up to just absorb, and they're not easy to break down. They're very well organised. And I wouldn't read too much into the last results. I know we've scored something like 20 goals in the 5 meetings since they come into the league or something like that. And I was at that game when the Cup semi-final. We just have to be patient to break them down. So you're going to get them. It's going to be a tough test. But as you know, I don't think other than at the Emirates, we haven't conceded a goal at home all season. And they've lost a couple of games recently. I think against Reading and against Manchester United, where they didn't compete well. But we also have to bear in mind is that I think they've also had key players out as well. I think Inessa Kagman's their chief scoring that they've really missed her. So I mean, if she came back into the fold, they could cause us serious problems. But yeah, as I said, we'll take nothing for granted. But hopefully we can continue our fine home form and keep another clean sheet.
Yeah, I mean, you say that. I mean, we've actually only all year in 2021, we've only actually conceded 3 goals at Meadow Park. That was 2 against Man City in February, our first home game of the year, and then 1 against Tottenham in the FA Cup. So
yeah, that's right.
You know, and I think Vijay has made a point there about that. He says our pitch is not as big as the ones we've not been playing well. Yeah, that's true. It is a smaller pitch. We kind of understand our pitch. We know how to play it, and that's obviously helped us because our record at Meadow Park is fantastic. And yeah, and Tom says there in the chat as well, in the last 5 v Brighton, we scored 14 and conceded none. Don't say things like that. We don't like to hear things like that, do we, before big games? Because it puts the hex on it. Nigel says there, don't crucify me, but I would like to see Spurs playing first spot.
I'm with him.
A strong Spurs side makes for better and more competitive derby games. I would generally I can see your point, but after we struggled to get a 1-1 draw with them recently, I don't want a competitive side. I preferred beating them 5-1 and beating them 3-0 last season and stuff like that. I more enjoy that. But I understand the point, and I do take your point. But I like to beat Tottenham quite easily. We don't want them to.
Remember last season they brought in Alex Morgan, and she didn't really do anything for
her. Oh
yeah.
Well, you say that. I mean, she hardly played, but then Tobin Heath has come in and hardly done anything for us because she's not hardly played either. So it's a similar situation, isn't it? Really, you play
she was at United and last season, wasn't she?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like difference, but let's hope that Tobin Heath can have a good 2022 with us and really help to push us on. But yeah,
hopefully she's recovered.
Yeah, let's hope so because I mean, we know what a great player she is. She's been brilliant when she's played for us. She just hasn't played enough, has she? She's only played 4 or 5 games, and she's been brilliant all of them. Unfortunately, it's not quite enough. I mean, Andreas, what's your score prediction then for Sunday's game against Brighton? Are we going to end 2021 in the way that we've pretty much gone throughout most of the year, beating virtually everybody apart from pretty much Chelsea?
Yeah, of course, I have to say that we will win, but we have to stop this giving gifts away in our defense. And for Jonas, I would say stop the experiments. He tried a lot pairing Lotta and Jen, then Jen and Steph. Steph never played a central back, as I remember, at least not for the Australian national team. And so trying her as a centre back in such important matches, I don't like these experiments.
No.
So I haven't the best feeling about the clean sheet. I don't think probably we will concede 1 or 2 goals. We will win, and I say, what did you say? We always score 3 goals at Meadow Park, so of course we will win 3-2.
3-2. Oh, well, 3-2.
3-2. Oh, 3-2.
I mean, yeah, it would probably be a nervy one if it's 3-2, wouldn't it? I suppose. But as long as we get the job done, that would be the main thing. I mean, what are you expecting the defence to be then, Andreas? Because obviously you don't think Steph will play there. Do you think it will be Jen and Lotta again? Do you think that's what it will be for this game?
Yeah, I think he will give Lotta another chance, and Jen, she made some really hard mistakes, so maybe he'll try Lotta and Simone. I don't know.
Interesting one, yeah, because she's been playing a little bit more lately, hasn't she, since she got back fit again? So yeah, that could be. Yeah, maybe that's a point actually. I hadn't really thought of Simone playing there, but yeah, that could be. That could be interesting. But yeah, you can see that is the weak area, though, isn't it? And as the quicker Leah Williamson's back, the better we'll all feel about life. I think, the happier we'll be. I mean, Matt, what are you thinking? How many are we going to lose by this week?
I was just going to say it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I have a feeling that depending on if Mana is feeling better, she'll be in goal because she was out with an illness for the Hoffenheim game. Which means Lydia would have to step up, and as experienced as she is, when she came actually under fire a lot in the Hoffenheim game, which I thought was really harsh as well.
But
if
the goals wasn't her fault.
As a goalkeeper, because you're only playing you got one position and you're fighting for it, you've got someone that's always not out in match fitness wise. So if Lydia is to play, you got to go with a strong defence, which might have to be put Katie in defence.
Yeah.
I don't know if Steph will consider be playing or not. I think if I was to put my hat on a score, it would be 1-1.
I mean, to be honest, if Chelsea lose, I wouldn't mind a 1-1 draw. It wouldn't be a disaster because we do increase our lead to 5 points. I'd kind of take that. I mean, obviously, you'd want to win and increase it to 7. But yeah, exactly. But, worst case scenario, if we didn't play particularly well and we scraped a 1-1 draw and Chelsea had lost, then I wouldn't be that disappointed overall. You'd have to take that. But, I think it's a game we do really want to win, I suppose. I mean, Emma, what's your kind of predictions? Who do you think will play in defence then? Because that seems to be the problem area. And what do you think the score will be?
I don't know who to think in defence, but you see, I've really noticed over the last few weeks that when Jen and Lotta played together, they're not exactly look comfortable as a partnership. So I think maybe give Simone, and I don't know, Vicky's not fully fit to play in that position. It's not necessarily a natural position, is it? So I'll probably play, Simone and Jen possibly. But
Really?
I don't know, maybe give Lotta a rest. But I don't know what's happened to Noelle. I haven't seen her. She'd be injured or something. She hasn't played the last few games.
I think she was ill against Hoffenheim. Wasn't she? I think she was ill.
Oh, well, she's recovered. Yeah, we've really missed out. For me, she's been one of our standout players this season.
I
she's
agree.
available. I'd play her right back. I mean, then that gives more. Well, say she gives when she roams forward, it maybe gives more confidence to the centre back. So I mean, let's see what happens. But yeah, I'd maybe consider giving Lotta a rest, or one or two of Lotta, or maybe even both a rest, and maybe play Simone alongside somebody else if they're fit. But it's a dilemma for Jonas to have. But I mean, I don't know what to expect. But we'll see what happens. I guess we'll see what happens.
What's your score prediction then?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think I don't think it'll be as one-sided as it's been. I'd go for a victory, but I think it'll be a hard-fought 2-1. I'd say.
2-1. Oh, okay. We'll have to see how that goes. Rajendra says 5-0. Well, there you go. Why not? No, I like the confidence. I like the confidence.
We wish it could be like that easily all week. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the confidence. Obviously, he says to the Arsenal. Well, of course, to the Arsenal.
No, not to the Brighton.
We wouldn't have expected it to be 5-0 to Brighton. Tom says 3-0, so he's confident of a 3-0, which has been a popular result. Carol says their rumour Lydia is moving. Well, I'm not sure about that.
6 months on a contract.
Yeah, and Carol also says 3-1 to Arsenal. So there you go. That's a good prediction. I'm going to go what I usually go with, which is when we're at home, which is 3-0, because 3-0 is a result we tend to get at home. And I'm going to go with that, even though I'm not 100% confident we win 3-0, if I'm honest, because we're not playing that well and Brighton are a good side and stuff. But maybe Viv will get her shooting boots on this week and she'll bag a few goals, and that'll be good because I think that's what we need. Nigel says they will win and Nikita Paris will score.
That would be a brilliant end to the season for her, year for her. Get a WSL.
She was very good against Leicester. She was our best player against Leicester.
She was our best player, actually. I wanted to mention that before, actually. I thought she was our best player against Leicester. She was unlucky not to score. Definitely. And I thought she was brilliant. She worked hard. She was getting up and down that wing. They couldn't live with her. She showed good quality. She set up the goal for Viv, and I just thought she had a great game. And yeah, it'd be great to see her get her first WSL goal. It was like last week, they were almost desperate for her to score, weren't they? Trying to get her into the positions and stuff. She couldn't quite get a goal. But Nigel there says 2-1. Well, yeah, we'll take a 2-1. We'll definitely take a 2-1. We'll take anything as long as it's a 3 points, looking at, how the league table is at the moment. And like you said, Chelsea, can they recover against West Ham? That's going to be an interesting game now, actually. It is going to be really interesting. I might actually do a show on that one as well before we play, because I think that could be a really interesting game. And if Chelsea were to lose again and without scoring, 4 games in a row without scoring, that would actually be I'd like to hear Emma's excuses after that one. She'd better blame something. I don't know what she'll blame, the weather maybe, or
she'll blame the kit man.
Yeah, she'll definitely blame something. But anyway,
blame the kit man.
Yeah, she probably will. But we'll see what happens. I mean, they'll probably bounce back and win 5-0, and that'll be that, won't it? We can get back to normal service will be restored maybe. But as long as we win, at this moment in time, we've got the advantage. So as long as we keep winning, it doesn't matter what Chelsea do. It's nice if they lose and drop points. We'll be happy, I'm sure. But we need to just keep winning and focus on what we're doing and keep going, because, although we've had some issues lately, we are still, as I said before, 17 games unbeaten in the WSL. 17 games. That's a great run. And if we can keep it going into the new year, We'll see what happens. It's February, our last defeat, so it's nearly a year coming up to a year without losing the WSL, and that's with 2 different managers, with a lot of changes in the playing squad, and we've still kept it going. Carol says Nikita has new boots. Well, we'll see. She might need some new scoring boots. That's what because she's been playing well. She just needs a goal or two. So hopefully she's got her new scoring boots on Sunday, and she will, as Nigel says, get a goal. That'd be nice. I'm sure we'll all be delighted if she can, and she'll be happy as well. So, but it doesn't matter who scores for me as long as we win the game. And we'll go into hopefully 2021 at least 4 points clear at the top of the league, and we'd have took that, wouldn't we? At the start of the season, we'd have took being 4 points at Christmas. You know what I mean? We would have absolutely took that all day long. So Carol says her boots, they're Mountain Dew yellow apparently. So there you go. That's nice. We'll have to look out for them on Sunday then and see. And Nigel says it would be great if Lisa Evans had the game of her life against Chelsea. Yeah, she's got a hat trick. Lisa, if you're watching, Lisa, score a hat trick against Chelsea. That would be great.
She had a really good game against Everton. Watching her play against them, it was amazing the way she was running out that defence. It would be really nice if she could perhaps get a few assists or a few goals, because West Ham looked really good in that game.
Yeah, I think West Ham all season. I know we beat them quite easily when we play in the end 4-0, but they are a decent team this year. They're a lot better than they were, and they've got some good players. And it'd be nice for Lisa to do us a favour. I'm sure she'll be desperate to herself anyway, just because she won't help give out, won't she? So she's bound to want to do us a favour.
And I'm sure she'll say this to her too.
Yeah.
So to make the match of your life.
But let's hope that she does it. Carol says yes, she's getting closer to the net. No, she is. I'm sure she'll get her goal soon, Nikita.
She deserves it.
Yeah, she does deserve it, and I'm sure it won't be long coming. Hopefully on Sunday. It'll be good when Nikita Parry scores a couple, Lisa Evans scores a couple. We go 7 points clear. Happy days. We'll all enjoy that.
Just one other stat I saw the other day was that Beth Mead only needs 2 more assists to become the WSL's all-time assister. So let's see if that. You never know. It could happen.
It could happen, yeah. Carol in chat there says Dagny is fantastic.
Oh, Bunya's daughter, yeah, she's a good player.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good players around actually, and there's a lot of good players in the WSL as we've seen this season already.
I think Kate Longhurst,
yeah. So it's all good stuff, and we're all enjoying it. And I say it's been a good 2021 for Arsenal. We're top of the league. And that's fantastic, and hopefully we can keep it going and enjoy the final game of the year for the Arsenal women on Sunday against Brighton, and hopefully we can end the year at home with another victory. Are you going, Emma, to the game?
Oh, I not entirely. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not. I've got because of a part of my membership, but Sunday I just don't know something about Sunday 6:45 kickoffs. I can't. That doesn't really sing, so I'll probably just try to watch it on my laptop or something. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I must admit, the late kickoffs we seem to get a lot, don't we? But we tend to do quite well in them, actually. So we shouldn't really complain too much because we keep winning them. We keep kicking off late and winning. So I suppose we need to be happy with that. I'd rather do that than keep losing the games, and we'd be really worried. So
they also announced earlier today that the Reading game, I think, is at 2:30, which is a much more conventional time for a kickoff when we played them. That's on TV, and then we got City away, which is another 6:45. So they're all over the place at the moment. Who knows? But
but I mean, this was always going to be the danger when Sky got involved. Kickoff times were going to be
true. I don't know why it's just odd.
Yeah, we knew that's what Sky would do because that's what they've done with the men's game over the years, haven't they? And it was obvious that it would start to happen. And we've had some later kickoffs. The Man City game kicking off late actually is probably better for me. I'll probably go to that game now because it gives me more time to get there. Yeah, it's going to be a late.
From where you are, that's right. Yeah,
it's going to be late getting home, I suppose. But anyway, I'll probably go. You're going to go to that one, Man City now? Or is it a bit late to get a train back?
For me to get to the Man City away game, I can do, not a problem, because it's only away an hour, 2 hours away from me. So that's not a problem. I think I was looking at the Birmingham game, but they still haven't said when it's going to be as well.
No, I think it's on a Sunday, isn't it? I don't know what kickoff time.
Yeah, I don't think that's on TV.
No, I don't think it is.
It just says, I'm looking on the website now. It says January the 7th to the 9th, and I thought you would have set a date by now, surely.
I think they announced that the Chelsea-Tottenham game, the first one after the break, is a Friday night.
Yeah, it's on a Friday.
That was a bit of an odd one, I thought.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it'll be the first one on a Friday, won't it? I think. Which you just said.
The first game between Manchester United and Reading was a Friday night as well, wasn't it?
Was it?
In September. I think so, but it doesn't. Yeah, but anyway, I just
might have been.
just weird kickoff times they are. I just doesn't sing. Something doesn't sing.
No. Don't Sky know we do our show on a Friday, so they can't play games on Friday.
Yeah, we could do a show. You could just try. Well, we might have to just I don't know, do it on the Thursday or something, and not watch the Chelsea game instead or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
The game against Birmingham is going to be on Sunday, the 9th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Which is my first game.
What kickoff time is that then? Have they decided
So
yet?
I think
Kickoff
2 o'clock at St
2 o'clock.
Andrews.
At St Andrews, that'd be good at the Birmingham City Stadium. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
But guess what? It'll be on the FA player, and they've been having issues recently as well. So who knows?
Really
Well, that's true. That is true. We'll have to see what happens. Obviously, that's a few weeks off yet. Nigel says that on an unrelated note, the club will bankrupt me with all the fantastic merch they have on offer in recent times. Yeah, the new stuff that they've just done, all the retro tracksuit, tracksuit is just incredible. What an incredible piece of kit that is. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that's brilliant. The training top as well.
It almost, whenever Arsenal play badly or they lose, they bring out a fantastic new range of gear, and you think, okay, you can see what they've done there. They've stopped us getting too annoyed and just go and spend money in the shop. But yeah, as long as they don't make them with that horrendous green away kit we had a couple of seasons ago, that was truly shocking. I like the green away kit.
Well,
No,
you
I
mean the
thought it
mint
was
one?
shocking. I thought it was shocking.
No, it was all right.
It looked like something you see
turquoise.
looked like some kind of paint or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it was a strange colour, but I thought it was all right. It was the best away kit in recent years, or I think it might have been the third kit, was that black and pink one we had a few years ago.
Oh yeah, the dark blue, wasn't it?
No, it was black.
Was it black? Oh,
It was
possibly.
black.
I don't
It was
know.
black with pink. It had like pink trim in that. I thought that was an amazing kit.
Probably, yeah.
They want to re-release that one because that was cool. But no, I agree with Nigel that some of the stuff they've been releasing recently, some of that 90s retro stuff is just incredible, absolutely incredible. And I might have to treat myself maybe to one or two of them little items. I think because some of them are really good. But anyway, that's as Nigel said, slightly unrelated. But I totally agree. And they have been putting some nice stuff out, and he's gonna bankrupt us all if they carry on. you can't resist it, can you? You see them. I mean, the girls been wearing them tracksuits, haven't they, to come out the last couple of games?
Right.
You see them wearing it, and you're like, wow, we've got to buy that. It's just incredible. And Carol says, the things are expensive. Yeah, they are expensive, but it's just what it is, isn't it? They tempt you, don't they? They put them out there. The girls wear them, and you think, well, I'm going to have to buy that now, and that's it, and that's life. Isn't it? So they know what they're doing. Their marketing department, to be fair,
Absolutely.
they definitely know what they're doing. But anyway, I'm sure we might get a few for Christmas. Who knows? If Father Christmas is nice to us, he might bring us the new old Arsenal tracksuit top. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I tell you what, I think that they've done really well because Mano Iwabuchi is very photogenic, like the way she smiles and everything.
Yeah.
It's just like every time you see a smile and things like that, I just go, you know what, I would probably buy that.
Well, they did it well, didn't they? Because they had Leah Williamson as well. I mean, Leah Williamson's a beautiful girl, isn't she? So they used her as one of the models.
I really wanted the socks.
They used Iwabuchi on there. They had Bukayo Saka with a little dog. It's like, come on.
Oh, yeah.
They know what they're doing, them lot, don't they? Unbelievable.
A couple of things I thought I'd just quickly mention is the FA Cup draw took place the other day. We got Millwall Lionesses, so that means they're an improving team. So again, another team I wouldn't take for granted. And the Conti Cup quarter-final draws on Monday as well, so it'll be interesting to see who we get there as well. So
is that a 12
the FA Cup draw? Yeah, London Lionesses. Yeah, that'd be a good game.
And then the Continental Cup, they've done the last 8, apart from I think City almost certain to qualify to beat Leicester. So we'll find out who we get in that as well.
Yeah, a few big cup draws on Monday, or 2 big cup draws on Monday. We'll have to look out for.
Yeah,
and then like you said, the FA Cup as well, which I think that's middle of January, isn't it? That
30th. I think it's the last game in January.
Is it? Oh, that's what last weekend of January. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got that game to look forward to. Obviously, we'll be favourites in that game. I'm sure we did beat them in the group stage of the League Cup. Didn't we? Country Cup, was it last year? I think it was a year before.
Years ago, I think we've been 5-0 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so we'd be favourites to beat them, of course, and then we'll get another FA Cup run because a trip to Wembley and May could be quite nice. We know a nice hotel we can stay in, don't we? So maybe we'll have to. We'll have to stay there again, maybe in May if we get there. That'd be good. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Tom said there about the shirts. He said he's only bought 4 shirts this season. The retro ones, the materials. Yeah, I mean the retro ones are great. I've got a lot of retro ones. They're my favourite ones. And Carol says hard to get some women's names printed though. Is it? Yeah, I suppose it would be. They're probably not as popular, are they, with the shirts? I guess. Red and white socks have gone. Yeah, the stripy ones, they still wear them, don't they? They're not in every game. And Tom says there, Tottenham get battered. He's ringing around the alley pally at the minute. Yeah, with the darts. They've been singing at the darts, haven't they? But Tottenham get battered.
Anyway.
So that's. I don't watch the darts, but it might be worth it just to listen to that again because that's quite fun. But yeah, so another. Well, that's the year over actually. Another Arsenal women's show, but it's actually the year over. Andreas, have you enjoyed the 2021 on the show?
Yeah, of course, I enjoyed it very much, and I'm very thankful to be a part of this show. You all know that for me it wasn't possible to come to home matches this year, and even when I had a ticket for the Barcelona match, it was not possible. So this show gave me the feeling of being very close to the Arsenal women and to be a part of this Arsenal family. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really thankful that you all accepted me in as a German. So it's great for me, and I hope to have some good contributions for the show.
No, you've been fantastic. It's been great to have you on. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Pleasure for you to be a part of it all and to be involved every week. It's great to have you on. Great to chat, and you've brought a lot of great knowledge as well of of the German league, of the Arsenal women, everything. So it's been great to have you on, and I look forward to a lot more. Obviously next year as well, going forward for the rest of the season, and I'm sure it's going to be great. And Matt as well, it's been great having you on the show this year. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Like Andreas, it was nice to actually meet people. Going to that first game has always been like one thing that I've always wanted to do. The fact that there's a community out there that's very talkative and happy to talk to each other and not just be sat there for 90 minutes and just be watching the game. The crowd is amazing at away games. I just hope that hopefully this can continue. And I know there's a bit of talk that behind the scenes they might decide on the season. Hopefully not, because I want this. I don't want the season to end. We're in for the festive fun. We're in a Jonas Eideveld wonderland at the moment, and and I don't want it to end at the moment.
No, although having said that, I mean, if they were to end the season kind of now and did it on points per games as they did a couple of years ago, we'd win the league. So we'd have to be happy about that.
I
wouldn't want to win it like that. I want to win it properly.
Are done by her, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I want to finish the season and win the league properly. But if they had to end it and that and they had to do it like that, we'd have to just accept it and say, okay, we'll take that, no problem. We'll win the league. We'll have it. That's fine. But yeah, I want to win it properly. And Amar as well, of course, it's been a pleasure having you on this year. Have you enjoyed coming on the show?
Yeah, no, it's been good to be part of something different. I've been a big fan of women's football for the best part of a decade and a half now. So to talk about it and be honest and give your opinions and just be able to watch the action, knowing what you can speak about every week has really enlightened me and been giving me a good way to spend a Friday night with you guys. So I mean, that's really good. And and I just want to say good to meet Andreas. Like what Rafa Honigstein is to German football is what you are to the show. So keep that up and keep it up, Matt. It was good to meet you. And really good to meet you as well, Richard. So let's hope for more of the same in 2022.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's been great. We built our own little community. Don't forget Harry as well. He's been on the show a few times. He's in the chat. I know Fridays aren't always a good night for him to come on, unfortunately, but I'm sure he'll be on again at some stage in the new year. And he's always good in the chat as well. So let's not forget Harry, of course, who's been on as part of this show as well. So it's been a great show. Obviously, we're not finishing the show. We're coming back in January, so don't worry. Don't think we're finishing.
Of course not.
We'll be back again. Probably the Friday. Well, we'll have to see because obviously the Chelsea game. Well, actually, what we could do is we could do the show on a Friday when that Chelsea game's on, and just maybe have the game on in the background. We can talk about the Chelsea game while it's going on. Do our show as well, and add that as part of it maybe. And if Chelsea are losing, we can enjoy it even more, can't we? So that'll be good.
And then the week after that is on 30. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. So
it'll be 30 in 4 weeks. That'll be something to look forward to.
It'll be good. Nigel says they're great show, chaps. Long may it continue. Yeah, I mean we'll do this as long as. Well, we'll do it as long as we all enjoy doing it, and as long as people like watching it as well. Because at the end of the day, you guys in the chat are fantastic. Every week, same people in there. Carol says there, agree, great band. No, thanks for tuning in, Carol. We've not seen you in the chat before, so if you haven't done, please consider subscribing to the channel because it's great to get new people involved. We do obviously do the Arsenal women on this show and the men, so it's a whole Arsenal channel. Loads of great stuff coming up. I mean, this weekend there's going to be I say I'm still intending to do the watch along a Leeds game tomorrow, Arsenal versus Leeds. I'm still trying to get a ticket to the game. I'm not having much luck at the minute, so I may end up just having to do the watch along tomorrow on the channel. But if I can get to the game, I will. But otherwise, I'll be going live on here at 5:15, and then of course Sunday, Arsenal women against Brighton, the last Arsenal women's game of the year, 7 kickoff. Sorry, so I'll go live at 6:30. Bit of build up, the team news, and obviously then we'll cover the match as well. Hopefully another good win for Arsenal going into Christmas, make it a nice Christmas period for us all. We can have a nice little couple of weeks off from the show.
Absolutely.
Watch the men. Hopefully, if the games are on, if the COVID thing doesn't call them all off, hopefully there'll be some games to play over Christmas, because it's nice to be off work, put your feet up, watch a bit of football over Christmas, isn't it? So hopefully that can happen, and then we can get back into the women again in January. Carol says there, I tend to catch the replay. Oh, great! I'm glad that you've been watching the show, and thanks for being a part of it as well. So yeah, we'll be back with the Arsenal Women's Show in is it 3 weeks' time? Because you've got Christmas Eve.
Yes,
3 weeks.
yeah.
Eve next Friday, New Year's Eve the Friday after.
New Year's Eve, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, as much as we all love coming on the show, I'm pretty sure most people on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve will probably have better things to do than to listen to us for an hour.
Yeah, to listen to us chat all
Yeah,
you
exactly.
I'm joking.
Yeah, so they'll probably be out in the pub and stuff like that, which is fair enough. Assuming all the pubs aren't shut by then, perhaps. But anyway, we'll see.
Oh, bloody hell, who
We'll see
knows
what
with
happens.
Omicron? It's all Omicron at the moment. Bloody hell.
Hopefully there won't be. Hopefully we'll all be fine. So we'll have 2 weeks off. We'll be back on January the 8th, the 7th, isn't it? The
7th, yeah.
We'll be back on January the 7th for the next show on the Arsenal women. Obviously, Andreas, enjoy your Christmas and New Year. If obviously, I know we'll speak in the group, I'm sure, before, but have a good Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, the same to you. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody, and everybody who's watching us. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, and Matt as well. Matt, have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well. We'll speak in January.
Yeah. To you all as well who are watching and listening, and everyone in the chat at the moment as well. Hope you all enjoy the holidays, and hopefully you get what you want, which is Arsenal getting 3 points at the weekend.
Exactly, that's what we want. We just want Arsenal to win every game. That's all we want for Christmas. And Amar as well, Merry Christmas to you and your dad as well, of course.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he'll appreciate the fact that he met you, and it was good to meet you guys. And yeah, hopefully to all the viewers, and yeah, wishing you all the best for the festive season as well. So yeah, look forward to the break and bring on January.
We'll be back bigger and better in 2022, along with the Arsenal women are going to go from strength to strength. Nigel says, "Yeah, come on, you Gunners!" Yeah, and Carol as well. Come on, you guys! Indeed, come on, you Gunners! Let's win the game Sunday, and let's have a really good Christmas and come back in January. And we'll look forward to that. So I'll say thanks to you guys again, Andreas, Matt, and obviously Amar as well as always. Thanks to all you guys in the chat. Fantastic as well. All the support this show's got, actually, it's been brilliant. I really enjoy doing it. I enjoy chatting to you guys and everyone in the chats as well. So Merry Christmas to everybody. I will be back tomorrow and Sunday with the watch-alongs of the games, and we'll probably have a Tuesday clinic on Tuesday as well, looking back on the Arsenal Leeds game and looking ahead to the Christmas games. If they all go ahead, of course, at the moment, we don't know what's happening. Exactly. A lot of games getting called off, which is a bit of a worry, but I'm sure there'll be some football that we can talk about anyway. So stay tuned to the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Give it a like before you leave. And I'll see you over the weekend for all the watch-alongs. And Merry Christmas to everyone from the Arsenal Women's Show. We will speak to you guys again in January with this show, and we'll see you at the weekend. Come on, you Gunners. See you soon, guys. Take it easy. Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah.